Without further ado here, John, let's get into topic number one of the conversation. That is on one, Kalen DeBoer, and how fast, how quickly can he win his first national championship as the new head coach of Alabama football? That's the question. You're filling in the shoes of the greatest to ever do it in Nick Saban. We're talking 6 national championships, 9 Southeastern Conference titles, 4 Heisman Trophy winners, several All-Americans, several first-team All-SEC honorees, several players selected in the NFL draft, including 47 first-round picks. Nick Saban did a lot in Tuscaloosa from 2007 to this past season. But here's Kalen DeBoer, right? And the question everybody's asking themselves, how fast, how quickly can Kalen DeBoer get that first national championship at Alabama? And can he get it? Can he possibly get it faster than Nick Saban got his first at Alabama? Well, let's put this in perspective here. Nick Saban got his first ring at Alabama in 2009. It was year 3 of the Saban era. 2007, he comes in replacing Mike Shula. He comes in behind the locust years. When you look at, Dennis Franchione, who left in the middle of the night after Mike DeBoer's, and then you had Mike Price, who never coached a game, got fired before he even started coaching with the off-field situation he had in the club there. Mike Price, that whole issue. And then Mike Shula comes in, and Shula, who did everything he could do, he was brought in just to keep the Band-Aid from flying off the rails, right? Shula was brought in when you talk about sanctions, textbook scandals, loss of scholarships, probation. Shula was brought in just to keep the Band-Aid from flying all the way off the face, right? That's why Shula was brought in. And Shula, God bless him, did everything he could do. I know he gets a bad rep. I understand he gets a bad rep. But Shula did everything he could. 2005, he had that team that played with its hair on fire. Defensively, you had guys like Rudy Griffin, Ramsey Robinson, Simeon Castilla, Juwan Simpson, Freddie Roach, D'Amico Ryans, Tyrone Prothro, Brody Kroll. You had dudes, Ken Darby. You had dudes on that team. Nothing but dudes on an 05 team. An 05 team that truly could have won a national championship. But I digress from that. Shula did all he could do. And you bring in Coach Saban, and Coach Saban took a program from bare bones, took a program that had slipped all the way from national prominence, where the likes of Wallace Wade and Frank Thomas and Paul Bear Bryant and Gene Stallings had it, and took that program back to national prominence. Keep in mind, Urban Meyer was trying to have Florida be the gold standard of college football. And Nick Saban usurped it, stripped it from Urban Meyer, made him just leave the SEC, and made the powerhouse of college football Tuscaloosa. But Nick Saban got it done in year 3. Year 1 was a tough year, 07, a weeded out process, a process of, who's going to be with me to help build this thing for real. Had to let some players go, had to start recruiting his own guys. Thank goodness for Mal Moore, believing in Coach Saban, bringing him into the program. January of 2007. And of course, in that 2007 season, it was tough, very tough on Coach Saban. But then 2008, You have your first major recruiting class that brought in Julio Jones and Mark Ingram, Marcel Darius, Terrence Cody, all those guys that came in that first class that said, hey, we want to be about this. We want to win this thing for real. And then you have 2009 where it was Saban's first class. And with a bunch of, you had 13 Mike Shula guys that didn't jump ship. Those Mike Shula guys, you had Mike McCoy, Eric Anders, Lorenzo Washington, guys like that. Those 13 guys, Chris Rogers, guys like that, Shula guys that bought into Nick Saban, didn't jump ship, didn't leave the process, stuck around, helped out, saw it happen in 2009. Saban got his first win in 3 years. But when you look at King and DeBoer, could he win his faster? Could he get it done in 2 years? Heck, could he win it year one? Could he win it this year for Alabama? Could he win it this upcoming season? A national championship for Alabama as a first-year head coach. Think about this now. Bama's in a 3-year national championship drought. Did not win in 2021 with Bryce Young. Did not win in 2022 with Bryce Young. Came close 2023, got to the college football playoff with Jalen Milroe as a first-year starter. Did not get it done that year. Can King and DeBoer get this in year one? Credential-wise, he has the credentials to do it. DeBoer at 49 years of age has won it everywhere. He's been a national champion in the NAIA League at Sioux Falls. He took Washington, Pac-12 championship, had it right there in the national championship game this past season. And this was a Washington team that 2 years ago was Charlie Brown, womp, 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 womp. Nobody cared about Washington. 2 years ago, Washington was the girl at the club that nobody wore her number. Why? Washington, 4-8 in 2021. 4-8. 4-8, 2021. The board takes over, and 2 years later, what happens? They're in the college football playoff. They win a Pac-12 championship, and they come nearly close to winning it all. DeBoer has built winning cultures no matter where he's been. And now he's at Alabama. And now he's at Tuscaloosa. Credential-wise, he's got all that it takes to get it in year one. The reason why I say this, my 3 reasons as to why DeBoer gets this done faster than Nick Saban on screen here. Number one, DeBoer's got a coaching staff in place that these players love. The energy's there. The enthusiasm's there. The motivation's there. The vibe there. The players are loving what Jamarcus Shepard, what Nick Sheridan, what Brian Ellis, what Chris Kapovich, what Kane Womack, what Freddie Roach, what Christian Robinson, what Colin Hitzler, what Maurice Linguist, what Rob Gillespie. Coaching staff is loving what all of the players are loving what this coaching staff, all of these guys are putting out there. The energy's right there. Now, I understand for a lot of these new guys that DeBoer has brought in, they don't have the resume of a national championship, right? They don't have the resume of putting guys in the NFL right now, right? However, the first way to win these kids is you got to sell them on, I'm going to rock with you. I'm right here. I'm not jumping ship. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for you. I'm committed to you. I'm about you. I'm rocking with you. And I'm speaking your language. And I got the energy, the enthusiasm, the motivation to stand here with you, to see your vision as an athlete, and to see your vision come to pass and win a national championship and get to that next level. And that's the vibe that these coaches are putting out here that these players are feeling right now. These players are feeling what Jamarcus Shepard is saying. They're feeling what Nick Sheridan's saying. They're feeling what Chris Kaplovich is saying. They're feeling what Kane Womack is saying. They're feeling what Christian Robinson and Maurice Lindquist and Colin Hitzler, they're feeling what these guys are saying. And they're understanding it, and they're putting the work in. They're putting the work in. DeBoer has the energetic teachers that he needs. Not just guys with energy, not just guys of motivation, that's important. He's got these guys that can teach, that can flat out teach. Jamarcus Shepard can flat out teach wide receivers. That's what Alabama needs right now. That can flat out teach them. King and DeBoer has an offensive line coach and Chris Kaplovich that can flat out teach and develop these offensive linemen. DeBoer has Colin Hitzler and Maurice Lindquist that can flat teach these defensive backs, right? These new guys are in here teaching and instructing these athletes out here. So you got coaches that are not just giving the motivation, that are not just giving the energy, that are not just rah-rah guys, but that can also teach, develop, instruct, right? The right way how to do this on the field. That's number one. Number two, I look at this Alabama offense under DeBoer. This is going to be top 3, top 5, possibly top 1, 2 explosive offense in college football. This offense is going to be explosive, folks. This offense has more than enough to win a national championship, more than enough. You look at this quarterback room led by Jalen Milroe, more than enough. You look at this running back room that people aren't talking enough about, John. I don't understand this. You got arguably the best running back room. I'm going to say this. This running back room will rival Alabama running back rooms that have had Bo Scarborough, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Brian Robinson, Damian Harris in those rooms. This running back room will rival those that have had Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake, Alti Tenpenny, Tyron Jones, Alvin Kamara in those rooms. This running back room will rival those rooms that had Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, Eddie Lacy in those rooms. Rooms that had T.J. Yeldon in those rooms. That's how good this running back room is. And people are not talking about it. Justice Haynes is a 5-star flat dog. And he's been working with Marquell Beckwith and his staff from day one. And we saw how good Haynes can be in that Michigan game this past season. That guy's a dog. Sham Miller, Josh Jacobs 2.0. Book it right now. That dude, pinball ability, contact balance, speed, power, vision, can catch out the backfield. We saw Jam at the 8A game. Guy's real deal. Guy's real deal. Richard Young, real deal. Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley, those two could possibly redshirt. But if they need to play, hey, they can ball too. At wide receiver, you got a talented room. Yes, they may not have shown it all yet, but this is the season because they got the coach and Jamarcus Shepard that's going to pull it out of them. You got 4 wide receivers that can be 1,000-yard guys. Kobe Prentice can be a 1,000-yard guy. Jeremy Bernard can be a 1,000-yard guy. There's a good chance you got a dude like Emmanuel Henderson that can really do some stuff. And then you got Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams can be a 1,000-yard guy. I'm just saying. And I'm not even talking about guys like Bubba Hampton, who came in as a freshman, Rico Scott, who's here as a freshman, and Amari Jefferson. I haven't mentioned those guys. And then not to mention, I know Jalen Hale had the big knee injury, attacking the rehab. But once he comes back, What can he contribute? And then there's Caleb Odom. I'm just saying. Wide receiver room's talented. These guys are gifted. I'm just saying, on the offensive line, you got guys back too. You got Caden Proctor back. You've got Parker Brownsford will be the center. Jaden Roberts, Tyler Booker. You got your two guards. That right tackle position may be the only thing there. But you got Elijah Pritchard who can play it. He's got experience. You got Wilkin Formby who can play it. Played it in spring. You got Miles McVay who's talented. You got big Naquil Bertrand who came over as a transfer from Texas A&M. And then you got the Chino Vanmark kid from Michigan State. So offensively, this is going to be top 3 offense in college football. I mean, when you look at what Milroe and these guys can do, it's going to be fun to watch this. And then last but not least for me, defensively, Bama's defense is going to be better than what a lot of people expect. I know Bama lost quite a bit of guys to the transfer portal on defense, but you look at this defensive line back, James Smith is a dude. And I think behind Tim Keenan, James Smith is going to be one of those guys that we're going to have our eyes all over all season. I think Keon Keeley is about to be let off the leash, and he's going to be one of those dudes. I think LT Overton, the transfer from A&M, is going to give you a whole lot of something, a whole lot of stuff. I think guys like Tim Smith and Jamarian Latham and Damon Payne are going to factor in a lot. Jaheim Otis going to be a leader in there as well. This defensive line deep. This defensive line can rotate. I think this defensive line is going to be really strong. I think it's going to be a strong group here. Linebackers, you got depth. You know you got with Deontay Lawson and Jahad Campbell. When I look at Justin Okonrokwo, when I look at Jeremiah Alexander and Sterling Dixon and Justin Jefferson, you got depth there inside. Outside, Christian Robinson is going to have fun here because behind Quandarius Robinson, Q-Rob, you got Yancey Pierre and Quay Rousseau, 2 dogs ready to be let off the chain. And those guys can play. Flat out play. So, and then in the secondary, of course, you got young pieces. When you talk about the experience of a Malachi Moore, of a Keon Saab, who's got national championship experience, Devontae Smith back, Damani Jackson, who I think is going to be really good. You got Deshaun Jones and King Mack from the portal. I think this defense is going to be better than what most people expect. But those be my 3 reasons there in terms of Kalen DeBoer. He's got the coaching staff in place, going to have a highly explosive offense, and this defense is going to be better than most expect. It's the reason why I think DeBoer will win one faster in terms of a national championship than what Coach Saban did. I think he's got all the pieces that he needs to get this done year 1 for the University of Alabama.